I think I always made the comment that once a miller, always a miller.
Ravel, ambitious, but brilliant! I don't believe it! I swear I do not believe it! Good Evans, he's done it again. Another promotion for the big man.
I've got 12 bottles of champagne in my office and we're going to drink them all night.
Do me a favour, drop me off in Rotherham.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Deadline Day. I promise it is Deadline Day. I promise the transfer window is still open. I promise it is. Yeah, we're here. We will see if anything happens in the next 2 hours or so. Rotherham United related. We do have a game to review, so we're going to go through the review of the Birmingham game because we weren't here yesterday. So even if Rotherham United failed to do anything off the pitch, we will at least have something on the pitch to talk about. I don't think we'll get 2 hours out of that, but you never know. We'll see what happens. Mick, are you all right?
I think so, yeah. Yeah, I'm good, mate. I'm good. Why do you ask?
It's always best to check in. Tom's back. How you doing, Tom?
Yeah, really good. Really good. It's been a fun day.
Tom has made the effort with the yellow tie, but not with the shirt. And I don't mind it. I'm all for it.
I apologise for letting you guys down. We could have looked
Ben
really
has
good.
gone for it. Ben has absolutely gone for it with the bow tie. Huge fan of a bow tie. But Mick's right. What did you say before we started, Mick?
It looks like he's going to pull a pack of cards out and do as a magic trick, or possibly walk along with a tray on his hand like that at some point with some glasses.
I need someone to entertain us all tonight, don't we?
Well, yeah,
What else is going to happen?
that's true. You could be a Deadline Day themed waiter. Yeah, Chris Sanchez convinced Mick sat in his pants.
Stand up, mate. Stand up.
Oh, God, no.
Look, we're going to get through as many comments as we can tonight. If you've joined us before for Deadline Day, you know these shows can descend into nonsense. You know there's a lot of you involved. There's a lot to talk about for Rotherham United at the minute. There's not much action, but that means there's lots to talk about, and it's you spend 5 minutes on social media, you can see my tie's terrible. Sorry, you can see how strong everybody's opinions are, and understandable as well. But remember,
you look like a council-issued lawyer, Matt. That's what you look like.
Yeah, I've got a briefcase, but the only thing in there is a bottle of whiskey. And yeah.
That's such a good insult.
Yeah, that lawyer of Simpsons, I can't remember what his name.
Oh. Lionel Hutz.
Lionel Hutz.
Yeah. Oh no.
Yeah, I'll take that. Right, Graham is with us, as is Martin Holland, Fishman Sid, YouTube user. Follow us this evening, everybody. Got popcorn ready, although if it's true we've lost Cam Humphries, I might have to get the gin out. Telephone says, hi everybody, get my yellow kegs. What you are? What's it?
What was that?
There's a quiet rumour, and to be honest with you, I can't find it anywhere, but there's a rumour Cam Humphries has been linked to Derby. If you look into it, I can't find an original tweet, an original source of it. So I'm thinking and hoping it's been a nonsense. But we'll keep on, keep our eyes on it, basically. Yeah, loads of comments. We will talk. Let's just get into it because there's nowhere else to go really. We will talk about the Birmingham game, I promise. Because that was I know we lost, but there was a lot of positive to take from that. But anyway, we'll come on to that in a little bit. Mick, deadline transfer window is here. 6 exits if you include the return loans. And obviously 2 incomings, which is Lewis Sibley and Dan Gore, who did quite well actually on Saturday. Again, we'll come on to that. If this is it, if there is nothing else coming in, which is the whisper at the moment, how do you feel about it?
I don't know. Not happy. I can't lie. You know, given the number that have gone, something doesn't feel right. It just doesn't feel right at all. There's been zero communication coming out of the club at all. Certainly today, anyway. Just some the usual nondescript stuff about the weekend's game. It's just gone. It's almost as if we're ignoring the fact that today's transfer deadline day, and we've managed to scrape in 2 loan players. One of them is still doing his GCSEs by the look of him. So, it's not great, is it? It's really, really not good. We'll go into it. I know we've got 2 bloody hours to get through here, so I'm sure we'll go into it in more depth. But I'm not happy, Bunny. I can't lie.
Nobody's a happy bunny, I think. Yeah. Nick Hammock says, Christopher says injuries will kill us. Nick says something can't be right. We never really struggle to get anyone in, especially at this level. Tom, it's weird because Steve Evans loves a signing. If you were going to have a manager, if it were Warney, I think he's very specific about what he's looking for. I could maybe see it and understand it a little bit better. But Evans loves a sign. If there's people available, Evans will go and sign them because he's constantly looking for new ways to improve the squad or how he sees to improve the squad. So it makes even less sense that Steve Evans is here and we're not signing these players because actually he loves a signing.
Yeah, and it's before it started, it was 3 incomings, potentially 3 outgoings, and if we would have kept all our loans and not sent anyone out and sort of just had the sales of McCart and etc., and we did sign one more player, I think you could probably argue we'd get off with 1, but it's the fact that 6 have left. It's not a 3 in 3 out, which again, like you'd argue would be bearable, but it's the fact that this team is showing so much form and promise that we'll get onto the Birmingham game, I'm sure. But if we had 3 or 4 additional players of the Sibley and Gore quality, even 2 more of their sort of quality, I'm not saying we would have won, but we would have been in with a big shout because we were playing players out of position. We had, players unfit. To me, it looked like some of them were, they're clearly not, Reece James is clearly not the fittest he's been all season. And it's really disappointing because from a fan's perspective, imagine, 2 months ago saying that we could be in with a genuine chance of going Wembley if we just signed 2 extra players in January who were quality, and we haven't done it. And the other frustrating thing is that, come summer, we're going to have a whole squad of players with 1 year left on their contract. There's not one player that's over a year left after summer. So it leaves you in a precarious, position of, well, what do? Do you sell them all before they all leave on a free, or do you sort of try and contract extension, which we're so good at doing? So it's not just left us in a bad position in January, but for the summer it's really tough to see where it's going to go.
Yeah, it is. And after Mexico, we needed a net gain of players this window. We were already pretty short going into 1st of January with injuries and whatnot. If Malik Wilkes is injured, I think is it 14 fit first team players we've got available? Obviously, 2 of those goalkeepers. Yeah, Ben, it's weird. And Sean H. made a good point. He says, Sean H. been ahead of the curve since December, though, lads. Ready and firing in January signed players, still waiting 9 p.m. on the last day. Those are obviously Steve Evans' words. Do you think he's been let down by the behind-the-scenes things, or was he just kind of bluffing his way through almost? I don't think he would have been at that for transfers.
I think that's first of all, I think that's impossible to answer. I know you've asked me that about.
We're speculating, mate.
I know I'm speculating, which I don't think is the best thing to do, but I'm going to do it anyway. Just for
thank you. We've got 2 hours to fill. So
I think if Evans has said, like someone put in the comments that a couple of weeks ago, I can't remember what game it were, that Evans is basically telling him to spend all his money. So I don't know what's happened with that. So I don't know who's been saying no. If there's been a difference in opinion on who we should bring in, or nobody wants to come, or Stewart's changed his mind, or nobody wants to play for Evans. It could be a multitude of reasons. What you don't want to do is sign a striker on a 3.5-year deal on stupid money who's crap in January. You know what I mean? And then sits at club dossing earning a wage. That's not what you want to do. Just like happened a couple of years ago. So I can understand that side of it, but like we're watching the game on Saturday. And it's just like, we get to like 75 minutes and we're still in it. We're doing pretty well. But then it just fades because we have to bring on Jordan Hugo or we have to bring on Jack Holmes. And it's like, it just fades. And that's where, especially if you want to be competing, you need to play well for 90 minutes and play well for 46 games. And you can't do that with 13 players, 14 players. Because if my football manager knowledge is right, it's 25 players in a squad registration. Right?
Yeah.
We have not got 25 good players. Nowhere near that level.
We have a breaking news.
Ooh.
Mike McGrath and Peter Roker are reporting that Pele, Ruddock and Panzu has agreed a loan deal for the season to Rotherham United. Short term, isn't it?
Which one's the player?
What?
Which is the club and which is the player?
He's got a double-barreled second name.
Yeah.
Ruddock
His full name is Pele, Ruddock and Panzu. He's from Luton.
Oh, in
He
Panzu.
He was. Yeah. I'm certain. I'll check this now. But I'm sure he was the player that had played from them since National League, Premier League.
Yeah, it is.
Oh
wow.
And it's I did say if it came from O'Rourke, I'd believe it more than anything else. So
it's Mike McGrath as well, who is a football reporter at the Daily Telegraph as well.
That's a really good signing.
Hang on. Let's go back.
Everyone's going to forgive it. Everyone's going to forget. They're going to forget.
I'm going to start this again. You ready? Right, okay. Welcome to deadline day. We're making signings. Yeah.
Oh no, this is if they can get it. Yeah. Oh, that's so frustrating though. It's so frustrating because if this happened 2 days ago and then we had another one of the same quality today, everybody would be. I personally think everybody would be all right. Fair enough. But yeah, we'll see if this even happens. Until it comes out from the club, let's presume it's not real. Also, when was the last time anyone saw him play? Like genuinely curious. I just knew he played for Luton. That was about it. Is he?
He's never really shone from what I remember.
He's Kyoto's cousin, isn't he? So that's gonna go down well.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. He is a midfielder, isn't he?
I believe so.
I thought he played fullback for him.
There we go. We're all thinking about
anyway. I'm pretty sure he played right back in the playoff final. I'm imagining that.
We're gonna get that
deadline days, guys.
We're gonna get that announced, and it's gonna be it.
If you just joined us for the first time ever on deadline day, and there is over 1,000 people watching this, then this is what it is normally like. We get a room and we go, I've never heard of him before, or I don't know where he plays, blah blah blah.
Is this going out on Spotify as well?
It will be. Most of it will be. I'll probably cap it halfway.
I was going to say to all the audio listeners, I'm sorry. It's just a lot of us checking our phones, I think.
Yeah.
For the first 20 minutes.
I mean, he played for Luton 10 days ago, just over 10 days ago, on the 21st of January. Oh, it's a bit more than 10 days.
That's weird. This is a weird signing.
This is a weird signing.
This is the weirdest start to a podcast I've ever been involved in for a start. So I think...
Yes, weird. He's also... Well, it fits the bill. He's 30-year-old. So it fits the criteria of what we're kind of looking for.
The more.
Let's keep an eye on that. Keep your phones lit, charged as well. We'll see what happens. Bishop says it weren't Millwall after him. He played nearly 350 times for Luton, so he's obviously been around for a little while. You've got to wonder if he's. I don't know. Let's not get too down on him first, though. Is one enough, Mick? No. Okay, so we can still be negative.
Yeah, we can go with negative if you want. I mean, that's assuming this is who we think it is, and it's an actual deal. Then it's a good move. It is a good move. So fingers crossed that they get some sort of confirmation. Pete O'Rourke, as we've already said, is generally pretty accurate.
On the report of the Arsenal rumour.
Yeah, apart from that, let's not get bogged down in the stuff where he's been wrong in the past. But yeah, well, it's one, isn't it? It's one, but again, so that takes us up to 15 fit players potentially, which is still a shambles, isn't it? But nevertheless, you know, it's somebody somebody of quality. Well, if it's the same player that we're talking about, so let's see whether that develops over the next hour or so. Hopefully it does. Plus, another will do me.
Yeah,
well, after do us, won't it?
Can I ask a quick question? And it may be off topic, but if we knew how transfer window would have gone, would you have been happy sending back the loans that we sent back?
No.
Even in hindsight, so you wouldn't.
I think we said. I think we were still in mix at the time. Hungbo was a strange one to let go. I know we went for permanent, so maybe that complicates this a little bit. But I'd have kept Song because I think he's got something to offer as a bit part player, especially if you can't get a replacement in. He was certainly, even he came on for Cambridge, so his fitness can't be that much of a problem. Yeah, I know. Well, I kept McGuckin. I like McGuckin. I would have definitely kept McGuckin. And again, especially if you get rid of a Song, I'd definitely kept McGuckin.
Yeah.
Then what do you reckon?
To what, the loans we've sent back?
Tom's question.
If in hindsight, if in hindsight the loans that we let go, because I thought at the time, fair enough, if we were going to get better, but in hindsight, it seems like they probably weren't great.
Yeah, I mean, they should have played anyway. We should be playing with wingers. We're not playing with wingers. Hungbo should have been playing. The Song should have been playing. You talk about fitness there, Matt. Fitness is an issue. How hard can it be? Genuinely, how hard can it be to play 45 minutes? If you're a professional footballer, you play football since you were 5 years old. Easy. Fitness, that's an excuse. That is such an excuse. It takes a week to get fit, 2 weeks.
What's he going on about? Have I missed part of this?
Saying that his fitness was an issue.
No,
supposedly. That's what I meant, a Song.
He was injured. When I say fitness, I mean injuries.
Right, okay. Right, well, that's his fault for being made out of glass then, isn't it? But
that's his fault.
Do you really want to start this again, Matt? Do you really want to start this again?
I'll let people into a little secret here. Me and Ben have spent all weekend together, and I think Ben's ready to rip my head off. I've done a very good thing by winding him up constantly for the last 3 days, and I think he's had enough. Yeah. But, what are you going to do? Let's have some serious and get back to the Terry's cream egg. That might have to come back up later. I will just big point of saying that because I can see there's literally over 1,000 people watching this tonight. Welcome for the first time ever. If you're watching on X, make sure you have followed us over there and give this post a share. And if you are watching on YouTube for the first time, make sure you've subscribed and give it a thumbs up as well. If you're watching live, give it a thumbs up, and we'll get many more people involved in the chat. So we're saying it's still not a good window, even with him, Mick. Although I think he is a very good signing. It's still not a very good window. Yeah. Let's jump into the conversation that's currently happening on social media. I saw so many comments here. It's the vocal minority. The Stuart out camp. Is that still a vocal minority for you? Because I don't know.
This is not a black and white issue by any stretch of anybody's imagination, is it? It's going to gain some traction, I think, given the season that we've had so far, given the level of performances. I mean, I don't even want to use the word level of performances in that sentence because they haven't even been at a level at times. Given the the bluster that came out of the club at the beginning of the season from both, not only the manager, which we expect with Steve Evans, it doesn't matter which club he manages, you expect that from him. We also got it backed up by the chairman at one of these pointless fan forums that we were going to do this, we were going to do the other. We've had nothing else from the club in relation to the financial situation that we're in as a whole. We know that the accounts are due, but the way that this transfer window has gone, it doesn't bode well and it doesn't look well. It doesn't look good at all, because none of the promises in inverted commas that were made have been followed up on financially. There appears to have been no sort of backing for Evans in this window. There can't have been, because we know from experience, not only with our club, but with other clubs that he's been the manager at, he will bring players in. If the transfer window is open, Steve Evans will bring in players. That's what he does. He started well in the summer, and then it just petered out into nothing.
Yeah.
We didn't even start well in this transfer window. We just kind of stumbled across a couple of loan signings, and here we are, an hour and a half before the deadline of the window shuts, and we're wondering whether we might get another one in with 14 fit players. It's a shambles, and I don't really know why. Anything that we do, anything that's on there on social media on that we discuss tonight, it has to be speculation, because we don't get any information whatsoever out of the club. And the supporters and the people that are the ones that actually put the money into the club, over and above the chairman, who clearly does as well. We're given nothing, and we're treated a little bit like second class citizens, in the sense that everybody knows that we'll turn up and we'll spend our money. So just leave it at that. We just kind of kept it dark. Something's not right. Something's clearly not right. And it whether it's fair or otherwise to speculate on whether that's the chairman's interest has waned, whether he's spent too much money, whether we're in too much debt, whether he's got other priorities now, or whether he is actually giving the manager the funds and the manager not spending it or picking the right players. I don't know. Probably the former rather than the latter, but I'm kind of rambling a little bit here because I don't want to speculate. I'm not in the camp of getting rid of the chairman, quite frankly, because I don't know we're going to get in his place, and I feel more than likely that whoever came in his place, if somebody does, is far less likely to do anything for the club other than ultimately kill it. I just don't see how anybody's going to come in and make any money out of it, and that's what it would need. So it's not a great position at the moment. I'm not comfortable with it. I don't like it, and I don't like where we are. I don't know. I've not really said anything there, have I? To be fair, and it's because we don't know, and it's worrying. It is worrying for me. And this transfer window, it would appear, has kind of strengthened those worries for everybody. And you always, with social media, you're always going to get the extreme, hang him out to dry, he's useless, blah, the middle ground is usually where the actual truth lies. And that is, well, we don't know what that is, do we?
No, we don't. Adam Hardcastle says, as soon as Mick mentioned these cream eggs, the transfer budget was redirected.
Adam, this is the thing, and I can't buy one now. I can't find it anywhere. we reckon that Evans or Stewart or both of them have stockpiled these.
This is when we turn up on Saturday at Shrewsbury game, and they're going to be out till.
Yeah, at £15 a piece.
Yeah, big time. Yeah.
And they'll be burnt on bottom.
Yeah, absolutely. I was going to pick this one. Mick says, my opinion is that the people that say that this are the more younger generation, because they haven't experienced the real bad times, so they think this is bad times, when it really isn't that bad. Which I get, Nick, I get, Tom, but at the same time, first of all, I don't think we should judge somebody by how long they support the football club. If you support the football club, you're entitled to your opinion, whether it's right or wrong, you're entitled to it. And I think somebody being unhappy with how things are at the moment, we've had it worse, but that doesn't mean we can't be unhappy with how things are at the minute, because it is it's a shambles, and the lack of communication from the lack of honest communication from the football club over the last 12 to 18 months has been startling. I've seen Bristol City today release a statement basically explaining their transfer window to their fans. And their fans might be unhappy with the business, but there's clarity and what felt like honesty coming from the football club. So I can understand it. If they come out tomorrow and said, we've overspent over the last 2 years, we really need to cut our cloth accordingly, and there we go. I think most grown-ups would accept that. But when we're getting all these promises and then nothing else, we're going to be upset. We're going to be upset and angry, aren't we?
Yeah, and we get told a lot of stuff that isn't true and a lot of promises that are inevitably, broken. It's the part and parcel of sort of, not to discredit him, but Evans coming in, he says he talks a lot and doesn't necessarily walk that walk. But I mean, it's like I said before, it's scary thinking about not just this transfer window, but potentially what may happen in summer with so many players out of contract, the following year. You're not going to be able to get a big transfer fee for them. And it's more or less the whole squad. We signed everyone in summer on a 2-year deal. So by the time that the 2027, 2026, summer rolls around, we won't have a squad, let alone 2 or 3 star players out. We'll have nobody. So it is frustrating. And the Bristol City article I read as well. I think they mentioned something about the players that they brought in. They expected more departures than they got. So they just said that they overspent based on what they predicted. And it looked like most fans were sensible about it and just thought, it's bad business, but it's in the past. You thought one way, you didn't get it. We probably banked a lot of our transfer budget on staying in the Championship and therefore get paid back because we stayed in the money that comes with staying up, you probably get back. So these transfer fees in the last 6 months, eight months, whatever, are probably transfer fees that are going back into the clubs to make sure that we're not in debt, I guess, is probably the only way that you can look at it. Therefore, you can get his loans because that's the only thing left in the budget. But we'll say it all night, but if we truly wanted playoffs, you'd sort of go gung ho on maybe you can have, you can make a case for no permanence being bad. But in my opinion, if you max out those 5 loans with the sort of, if Pelly Ruddock is good, which he proved, seems to be, that's 3 good signings, add a 4th and a 5th, you bring in 3 quality loans. Yeah, it's short term, but realistically, we're only looking at the playoffs short term now. If we were to buy anyone now, it wouldn't be, you wouldn't know if it's a purchase for the Championship or League One if you want playoffs, if you want to get up. So I don't think 5 loans is actually the worst thing in the world, but to let go of 6, and not bring in 6, for me is quite tough to take as a fan, because you assume the outgoings, especially when you're told that outgoings equal incomings, to then not have that correlate for one reason or another, whether it's stuff's not happened behind closed doors or price are just, a little bit over, or if what Evans said about, the amount of players that a team can send out on loan has sort of been hit and we've just been on the unlucky side of that. You don't know. But what you do know is that fans are unhappy, and if fans are unhappy, they're not going to go to games. If you're not going to games, they're not giving the club money. The club aren't getting money, they're not going to. It's just a cyclical cycle of they're not going to keep paying you. So it's a cost benefit sort of system that you got to go against, and Rotherham are very conservists. So we'll probably want to go for that sort of cost reduction. Rather, they're risk adverse rather than risk. Wanting risk seeking. So it's just a business model, and it looks like we're on the wrong side of it as fans, I think.
Because I was just asking, the 6 that left: Joe Hungbo, Asapro Song, Kieran McGuckin. Help me out.
Bramall, Teehee, and McCart.
McCart. Not all would have played all the time, but they were squad players that right now we needed some squad players. Because this right now is why you have squad players for when there's 3 or 4 injuries in your squad. So you've got squad players to bring them out. Matt Miller said lack of coherent strategy at Rotherham United, and there has been for a long time, for much of this season. It's been directionless on the pitch and in the boardroom as well. Bold Wolf says the thing is, it's the broken promises from the chairman when we got promoted for the first season at New York Stadium. Stuart said he wanted the Premier League. Where's the money? Broken promises as well. Yes, yeah. It's Mark says, Ben, what do you think? Is we are not Rotherham United. We are Rotherham United, not massive. Best we can hope for is free transfers and loans. You have to be realistic. That's fine saying that for now. I saw someone else saying January is not a time to sign permanent players. That's fine. I understand. we signed Jack Holmes. Last permanent player we signed was Jack Holmes, which I think was July. And we haven't signed any players since then. It just seems people try to play us down a little bit, and we're a reasonable sized club for this level. We're not a little club in the League One anymore. We're a little old Rotherham like we are at Championship, are we? We should be reasonably competitive in terms of transfers.
Yeah, I think that's just an excuse. I think Bournemouth did it, Huddersfield did it, Luton did it, Brighton did it in a sense. You know what I mean? I think that's just a bit of an excuse if you recruit right and you recruit well with. Evans isn't the type of person who's going to recruit Riyad Mahrez from a League 2 side in France. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're just going to sign in some big names or some young kids or whatever. But it takes time to build stuff. You know, you look at Bournemouth, you look at Eddie Howe, the job he did do in League One, and they just climbed the ranks. It's all about who you bring in and who you sign. And he's had a summer window. It's not like he's been here 5 minutes. He had a summer window, and I understand it was hard because of everything that happened last year. And January might not be the best time. But even if he is here for the summer, then he's got no excuse. You know what I mean? It does take time to build these things, but I think that's a bit of an excuse.
Yeah, I agree. I completely agree. Adam Marcos says Daniel Ayala is still available. Yeah, let's do it. Let's get in. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to say, to be honest with you more. We've covered it. I've seen a lot of people mention the Stuart Out campaign. I had a bit of a mini rant to make earlier about this. What we've seen over the last 18 months or so is lots of some fans Stuart Out on social media. And then, let's get these banners, let's start these campaigns. That's fine. If you want to do that, I think that's fine. I think that's great for you. But back it up on match day. No, it's all right. It's all right saying it. Nobody's doing anything about it. If you feel that strongly about your football club, if you feel like your football club's almost been taken away from you, do something about it. Stop. I think that's what's interesting about it. We're not seeing anything. There's no action being taken by anybody. Any fans that are very, very unhappy about this. If you don't turn up, unless you don't care whether you turn up as a season ticket holder, you've got your cash. Don't worry about it. That doesn't impact him. If you want to send a message, send a message. You know, within the realms of legality.
People are frustrated, and I understand why people are frustrated. But you know, the same people who were on about this, they weren't shouting and bawling when we were playing like a pub side for the first 6 months of season. You know, it's only because when we get to a situation where we can improve the squad, that's when Teddy comes out of court. We could have improved the squad for the last 6 months by having a decent manager who played some proper, or actually understood or had some sort of tactic and some method of way of playing, instead of just throwing 11 players at the ball and hoping that 2 or 3 of them might come out with it at the end of the day, which is essentially what we've done for the first 23 games of season. We don't moan about it then. We moan about it now because it's transfer deadline day and it's transfer window, so we should be making loads of signings. Because the whole point of football, for some people, and this is not a criticism, this is just the way it seems to be nowadays. The whole point of football is to buy as many players as you possibly can, spend as much money as you possibly can, and that's how you succeed, which we all know, all of us, even the people asking for that, know that that's not really actually how football works. So when it comes to transfer windows and things like that, these sorts of things become accentuated a little bit, when in reality, nobody really has the answer to it. Nobody knows. Nobody really wants rid of him until we've got somebody else waiting in wings to take it over. You know, we don't want rid of him until that person waiting in wings is actually going to do us some good and not just strip the club and sod off with any money that's left. Do you understand what I mean? It's like it's a kind of a knee-jerk reaction to the fact that we haven't spent the £2.5 million that we've allegedly got in.
Yeah,
I don't know. It just people don't actually want it, or know they don't actually know in reality whether or not they want rid of Mr. Stewart or whether they want rid of Steve Evans or whatever. I don't know. Again, I've said nothing there really, but it just feels that it's a knee-jerk reaction, and that's why you don't see actually any action put in place to go about it.
Yeah. Harry says he's ordered his big banner and some tennis balls. Harry's on it. Harry's the organizer of the protest, guys. So get behind Harry if you're interested.
I thought Harry were doing party bus to Wembley.
We can do both.
That's called edging your bets, that, isn't
it? Nick Cameron says it's the small minority. He says it's a small minority. Why you don't see any action on it? It could be. Matt Miller says that there is action. Matt fans aren't turning up. Look at the spare seats. Doesn't that send a message? It sends a message to me. I see it. I absolutely do see it. I still don't think that Tony Stewart cares whether you turn up or not, as long as he's got your season ticket money, which he did because of his selling tactics and his ability to sell season tickets in the summer. He's got your cash. Now, in the summer, when people don't renew, that will be interesting. But right now, he's got the monthly direct debits coming out, or the cash paid in full. So not turning up isn't making a difference, I don't think. Would you like to weigh in on this, Tom?
No, because I think we've said this at various points. Is that it's really tough to. It is tough to send a message without a whole community get behind it, and the tennis balls sure work. But if 4 people do it, it's not worth it. And I've said before in the past that not turning up, again, to me doesn't do as much. It's sort of you're still paying and you still facilitate it, because inevitably whatever you think, you will still, if we start winning again, you will start turning up again. And I know I don't go week in, week out. I watch every game. I don't go week in, week out, but I'm sure that people who do go week in, week out know that around Christmas time was probably the worst they've seen it. And, this Saturday will probably be better than it was a month or two ago. So it's really tough to, decipher, because as much as you hate the chairman as well, the players are starting to play for the club again, and it's starting to become a team that you want to get behind. And again, it's a case of that if you go and support the team but not the manager and not the chairman. Sorry, I didn't mean not the manager, not the chairman. Then to me, it sends a bigger message than not turning up at all. And I think for the players, it means a lot as well, turning up. So. But I'm personally gonna stay out of this one, because I don't know what to do. Right? I don't think any of us can sit here and say that this is the best course or that's the best course, because in my honest opinion, unless, and I only say this because of various reasons that I'll explain, but I think unless that you're getting a chairman with money like Tom Brady and Ryan Reynolds equivalent, with a public image to maintain, then you're probably not getting the best chairman, because if you do get a Chinese billionaire, they don't care about football. They don't care about their image. They'll to make money, they'll plummet it into the ground. Whereas Tom Brady and Ryan Reynolds and the equivalents have to maintain a public image. If they start driving a football team into the ground and their public image is absolutely destroyed, it does them no favors. It's better for them to lose money and maintain a good public image than it is for them to gain money and lose that public image. And for me, that's sort of where you are in these sort of scenarios. So unless you get someone of a wealthy background who cares about football and shows that they care about football, it's so tough to get a chairman now, because so many of them are just random American, Chinese, whatever, billionaires that don't give a crap about the sport, want to make a quick dollar here or there, a quick pound here or there, and sort of run. Don't care what it destroys along the way. I don't think a Chinese billionaire is going to come into the club and renovate the training pitch as much as someone who cares about the fan base and cares about sort of building it up. It's I don't know. It's to me there's various ways of looking at it, and I don't know which way to look, in all honesty, because Tony Stewart has many faults, but one of his pros, and whether or not people think it now, he still cares enough about the club to not put it in debt and not put it in a bad position. Whether or not you consider that not buying players, fine. Performances on the pitch are getting better, And if revenue comes out and we're still not doing bad, yeah, that's why I'm so on the fence about it. And I know that's, again, I've done a Mick. I've sort of said a lot without saying much, but that's my 2 cents on the matter, is that it's tough to, really tough to sort of get a gauge of what football businesses are like nowadays.
Yeah, I should make this clear. I'm not saying turn the shoot out, by the way. I am saying that I know some people are happy. What I'm saying is, you can only talk so much before it becomes just shouting for the sake of shouting, which what it feels like. Kind of feels into what you just said. It just feels like shouting without anything really. What I would say against that, Ben, maybe, is that what I don't think we're not asking for 20 million quid to be spent. I don't think. What we're saying is let's just run this properly. Let's have a bit of transparency as best you can with the football club, because I accept nothing. You can't be transparent with everything. I'm aware of that. We're not naive, but let's try and run it properly. Let's make sure everything's clear. Make sure there's a clear business plan that fans know about as well. Let's just take it a little bit back to basics, because it just feels like everything's off and confusing and murky. And if we just had a bit of clarity, I think we'd all be happier.
Yeah. I agree. Couldn't agree more, man. But I really don't think you're gonna get that with the two people leading the club at the minute. You know, you just look at Evans' interviews in the first half of the season when we were playing like under fives, and we were saying we're dominating games when we weren't. You know what I mean? It's just there's not been any transparency all year. So I don't think it will start now. I
don't think it will. But that's all. I don't think that's a big ask, though, is it?
No, it's not, and it blows. It's bizarre. It's just bizarre, mate, because it can't be that hard. And I know that's such a stupid thing to say, but like, it's a typical thing, right? Sky is for the fans. Football is for the fans. There is no football without fans, right? You look after your fans and your community, especially a little club surrounded by a couple bigger clubs. It is what we are. We're surrounded by a couple bigger clubs, right? So you look after your community and look after your fans, and we're not doing that at all. We don't care about the fans. We're just saying stuff in interviews and stuff, and we don't care. You know what I mean? Because there's no honesty. There's not been honesty all year in anything.
I would agree with Ben there. But I don't think that's something that's unique to Rotherham United. I think that's just football clubs in general. You know, the supporters are just cash cows. That's all we are here for, as far as the club are concerned. Not just ours, arguably the vast majority, if not all, football league clubs. You know, we're treated as an afterthought in terms of the match day experience, particularly in New York, is woeful. It's awful. It's absolutely awful. The quality of football's dreadful, or has been. It's only just started to improve. But when you look behind the scenes a little bit, you know, the shops within the concourse, the refreshment stands and what have you. There's just an absolute shambles. It's just a mess. 2 or 3 of them aren't even open. We've got however many, certainly down the family stand side, probably 4 or 5, maybe 6 stands there, 2 of which are always shut, and the ones that are open are staffed by people who don't really know what they're doing. It's not their fault. They're just there on less than minimum wage to pour a cup of tea, and it takes 3 people to make you to pour you a cup of tea at £3, and then £2 or £3.50 or whatever it is for a Mars bar. You know, it literally is just sapping money out of you. And you have to go down before the game finishes at half time, and you don't get back up until after it's kicked off in second half. There is no consideration or thought for the supporters. That's just even on the match day. But then when you expand it a little bit, and like Ben said there, the information we get from the club is non-existent. We're not even in the conversation. I would suggest the supporters as to being told what's going to happen, what the plan is, whether there is even there is a plan. You know, again, I'm not saying that this is something that's unique to Rotherham United, because it probably isn't. I would imagine the vast majority of football clubs are the same. But it's the supporters that pay the money at the end of the day. They pay the money for the season tickets, for the match day tickets, for the merchandise, for the refreshments and everything else. It's the supporters that are funding the bulk of the club, and we get nothing. We get nothing at all, other than I'm backing manager. I'm backing manager to help. We're gonna push for promotion. Absolute nonsense. Absolute nonsense. And it is nonsense. Just corporate bull. We knew, and I think, and the vast majority of supporters know, that when we appointed Steve Evans, there was no plan to push this club any further forward than this season. That was as far forward as the chairman was thinking. All he wanted to do was sell some season tickets and hope that Evans did what he's done previously. And that, certainly the first half of this season, backfired massively. The stadium's been virtually empty, relatively speaking. You know, there's been masses and masses of empty seats. The quality of football's been awful, absolutely awful at times. But again, we've heard nothing from the manager, nothing from the chairman or the board or anything. The only indication we were ever going to get as to what the board's intention was how they approached this transfer window. That's the only thing that we could do to take any indication as to whether they were still supporting the club. And it would appear that they're not, based on what we've seen there. Certainly, nothing changes at the ground itself. You're just treated, like idiots.
Yeah. I just want to ping this comment up, by the way. So Mark says, thought I joined the massive channel, all bashing the club. Now, the irony of that, Mark, is that for the last 6 months, longer than that, we've been accused of not being hard enough on the football club. And now we are a little bit hard on the football club. You want to bash in the football club? You can't win, can you? You literally can't win.
You just know what you see, haven't you?
That's what this podcast is. I think all good podcasts. I'm not saying ours is good, but all good podcasts are just based on people being honest. And these are what we see at the minute. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. Probably different to all your opinions who are watching but that's where we are. Right, go on, Mick.
Yeah, I see where Mark's coming from, because it is certainly from me. I'm constantly bashing. I'm bashing manager. I'm bashing the performances, and I'm bashing the chairman there. And you're right. That's how it makes you feel, and that's how a lot of fans feel at the moment, because we've been kept in the dark and we've been served what we've been served for the last two and a bit seasons. But we've been served it on a promise of we're gonna back it. We're gonna back the club. We're gonna back the team, and we're gonna push on. And we never do. We never ever deliver on those promises. Not even close. No. Unfortunately.
Yeah. Craig says, thought you guys would be live from New York Stadium in the car park. It's too cold. Too cold. Yeah. Let us take a break from Trendline Day for 5 minutes. First of all, I'm going to keep doing this all night because we always do this. But if you are watching for the first time, welcome. Make sure you're following us on, as you are listening on an X. I can see loads of people are. If you are enjoying it, go over to YouTube and subscribe as well on there, and give the video a thumbs up. If you're watching live on YouTube, make sure you give it a thumbs up as well. Let's just have 5 minutes, Tom, because news could break at any time, really. But let's just kind of get the Birmingham stuff talked about. It was a really, really good performance up until when they started making changes. It was a really, really good performance. I thought we just edged the first half. I thought the lead was just about valid. And I came away feeling disappointed that we didn't at least get a point. And in a weird way, I'm happy, because before the game I was worried it'd be a tonking.
Yeah, no, completely. And I said it before. I think if we had a couple more plays, we might have got something more out of that, a draw or a win, whatever. But we had our chances to win. Cleared off the line. We had a couple opportunities that didn't really come to anything in the end. We weren't miles the better team and didn't deserve to lose and whatnot. But I think a draw would have been absolutely fair. to the point at the end, and I hate to bring this up, but that guy army crawling across the pitch was horrendous. And the fact that they've made that his signing video is poo-housery at its finest, because any other team that it's against is pretty funny, but it was awful in that moment. It was horrendous, but yeah, it was a good game. It was a good performance. We did well against a team that we weren't really expecting to do well against, and it was a team that for me didn't look as good as I thought they could have looked. And we didn't take advantage of that. They got a very, very lucky penalty. Maybe was a penalty, and I only mean lucky because it's just a bit clumsy from our side. And the fact it got given, I'm not dead certain it wasn't, but the fact it could have easily not have been a penalty. And then there's other factors that go into it, with Dan Gore making his debut after 20 minutes in men's football, more or less. I thought he had a good game, but he didn't look as you would have rather seen Wilkes play more than 20 minutes. And there were various other, Hacks at right back is not a right back. He played all right for me, but he got, his positioning is obviously not that of a right back. So he got caught out on occasions. And yeah, we were unlucky. We were really unlucky. And coming out of that game with a loss, but an unlucky performance, I'll take. And not because, I'll lay over and take a good performance over a win, whatever. More or less because it shows that we are on the right path, and we are, compared this to a month ago, or compare this to the first time we played him, it's day and night how much better we are, and how much worse we made them look as well, because they weren't as good as I remember. They were still good. They were still technically great. Probably one of the better teams we played this season, but I think it's a credit to how Evans set us up and how the players played that we nullified a lot of what they did. So yeah, and for any Birmingham fans, let's have you. Let's hear it in the comments. Because apparently, I've heard differing stories from them. But the best part of the game was Nombe's flip over the billboards, whatever.
That
was fantastic.
And just to get back up, not milk it or anything like that.
To give their fans stick for it as well.
Yeah.
That was good.
Reg wants to correct you, Tom. But don't forget we signed him as a right back, Hacks. Do not forget.
Oh yeah, It's weird. It's weird that we did that, but we found his best position somehow.
Yeah, in two different places that are better than right back. It's just weird.
Yep. Very strange.
Tom K says, I'm not coming about a penalty. It's a 50-50 call, so I can accept it even though it's gone against us. Michael Miller says, was a penalty. Hacks hung his leg out, and their guy said, thanks very much, and went over it. Poor challenge from the great right back. I'm with Tom, Ben. Tom K. I think I can accept it being out. I would want it. Let's put it that way. I think that's how I judge a lot of decisions is, if that was for us, would I want a penalty? I think I probably would.
Yeah, I thought it was a penalty at the time. I think in today's game, I think it's a penalty. I think it's a penalty. I thought it saved it, to be honest, mate.
I did, yeah.
So we didn't lose that game because of that. We lost that game. That game was lost in the changes battle because we had to play with the same team the whole game, and they just could change it with players who just in and out and still play at the high top League One level. And it's hard, mate. It's hard when you got 14 players away from home at top at league. Hard to play for 90 minutes, 95 minutes.
I agree.
Yeah, Steve said I thought it was really competitive. Couldn't complain really. Yeah, I think this is what we've been saying, Mick, for the last 18 months. What I feel like I've been constantly saying is that we're grown-up Rotherham fans. We know how to lose. It's okay to lose sometimes, and that game is what I'm talking about. I can live with that. I can live with that performance and that loss all day long because there was progress, there was positivity, there was a very coherent game plan.
Yep,
I can take that. I get against a top side as well. I don't want it every week, but I can take that kind of performance and defeat when it comes.
Yeah, 100%, absolutely. I thought the performance was really good from start to finish. To be fair, and like Ben said, the issue was we weren't able to bring anybody on later in the game to change it. So yeah, unlucky. I think we were unlucky. It's not a penalty. Never been a penalty. In a million years, it's not a penalty. I'm trying to find the comment now who Yeah, Chris here said there was no need to tackle him. He was going away from goal. Yeah, he was going away from goal. He spent 20 minutes chasing Hacks to find his leg to trip over it. If you see the penalty from Tom, and I accept that the referee doesn't see this from this angle. The Birmingham player makes zero effort to go towards the ball, none at all. He looks to where Hakeem Odoffin is, and he runs straight to Hakeem Odoffin. Nowhere near the ball. He's no intentions of playing the ball. His only intention is to fall over in the penalty area. It's not a penalty. Never been a penalty. I can see why the ref's given it from his position, but it's not a penalty. But again, it's not. That's not a major issue from my point of view. The issues would have been the performance had we done what we've been doing all season, and we didn't. We were very good, I thought, and unlucky to lose it on a contentious. What I would argue is a very contentious penalty. I think a draw. I would argue the Birmingham fans would not agree that a draw was a fair result, but I think given our performances recently, given our performances in the early doors of the season compared to Saturday, I think a draw would have been fair for us.
You can't get a petty point. That's not how it works.
Oh, what's that?
You got a petty point just because we've been playing bad and then we played well.
I thought, do we not have
better team
medals anymore?
Watching
I don't get a point just for turning up.
If you're watching that as a neutral, they deserve to win. The last 20 minutes,
yeah, they're a better side. They're a better side. I'm not going to argue that. But from a Rotherham United point of view, as a Rotherham United supporter, I feel that we arguably deserved to draw out of it, and it weren't a penalty.
For the first 55 minutes, I think we were marginally better.
Yeah.
I think they then took it away from us.
Yeah, which they were always going to do.
Yeah. I think what's frustrating as well, Tom, is that we played really, really well. They started bringing better players on, and then one poor clearance from Reece James, just one poor clearance, which one of the most experienced guys on the entire team does one poor clearance, and it gives them an opportunity. Hacks wasn't ready for it. Just all the hard work's undone because of one moment, and it will like being back in the Championship. You won't make one mistake, and the game's turns around straight away. It's so frustrating.
Yeah, no, you said it perfectly. It was like the Championship. You know, you are playing against better players. If we did that against, Bolton, Burton, Cambridge, whatever, the last 3 games, you get away with it. And for me, James isn't that bad of a player, but the last couple of games he's been, his concentration and fitness just looks shattered, to put it frank. That Laird had him beaten all game from minute 1. That Laird had him beaten, and it was tough to watch because you just know that he's a better player than that. He just looks knackered. Again, it sort of brings you into the transfer saga again. But anyway, I just think that you're right. It is just 2 mistakes, and they weren't massive mistakes. Not like we played them through 1-on-1. They still had to do a bit afterwards. It's a poor clearance, of course, but they recycled it well. They crossed it in, didn't win the header, and then it's a good finish from Stansfield. And the second one was obviously contentious. I do agree. It was 2 mistakes, but I think with the penalty, contentious, but he made the ref make a decision, which is the worst thing to do there because. Yeah. I don't know about anyone else, but for me, I didn't think there was a chance in hell that player was even getting remotely near the ball. It looked like Hacks had it under control all day and then just switched off, looked tired, looked like he was blowing and just sort of dangled a leg and sort of, not in front of him, but sort of dangled a leg to sort of shield the ball. And obviously whoever it was looking for it, and you make the ref make a decision, and in front of Birmingham's fans with all the, whatever, you're going to give a penalty, I think, as a referee. And I think that's just, that's what happened. So for me, fullbacks cost us on Saturday. And weirdly enough, we only have 2 in the whole squad. So we have to make do with what we've got now. I'd hate to see Louis Sibley play left back, but if Evans says he can play there, we're just going to have to see what happens if James does get injured, because to me...
Signed him as left back.
Oh yeah, no, I forgot about that. We signed Jaws as a left back as well.
You did actually, yeah.
He's doing stunningly out of position as well. But that's the thing. It's just we've got no. If James and Rafferty, by all intents and purposes, is allowed to go and see his child born, but it leaves us in such a bad situation that I reckon Evans was probably begging him, come on, I'll entice you with an extra grand or so to play. But no, I mean, completely fair. He didn't play, but it just shows that if we have an injury to either fullback, we have to make a centre half go out there, and then we have to bring in a centre half. And if both our fullbacks get injured, you've got your star centre halves for the half the season playing at fullback, and you've got to bring in two completely new centre halves. So to say that Sibley can play there to me is it just screams of desperation. Screams of it.
It does.
Ultimately, we've only got 3 players that can play at centre half, haven't we? 4, I assume, if you count Cam Humphreys. He's gonna
be putting Duncan on the bench within. We're an injury away from Duncan on the bench. If Raggett, is not the most fit of players, if he gets another knock and is out for 2 games, Duncan has to be on the bench because we have no other centre half in the entire squad. Like from 30-year-olds to 12-year-olds, we have no other centre back that can probably play. So you have to put Duncan on the bench. If you put Duncan on the bench, he might turn out to be an absolute wonder kid or whatever, but he will get rinsed.
He will get.
It was, to me, it's just unless it's Mpanzu, who might not sign, by the way, because we've not heard anything in half an hour, 45 minutes. I just think, unless he can play centre half, I still think we're screwed. And you can say that we could put Humphreys back there. Of course, we could. That means you have to play Kelly in centre mid. You're making do with what you got, and it's just sort of, it screams of just desperation now.
The frustrating thing is, if we had a natural right back, as in Rafferty playing at right back, neither of those goals probably happen.
No,
because the natural position is there. Hacks got caught under the first one. It started from somebody else's mistake, but Hacks is partially responsible for that goal, which I think Rafferty is smarter. He's got that know-how and that wiliness about him. And I'd be amazed if Rafferty conceded a penalty like that. Whether you think it's a penalty or not, I don't think Rafferty puts himself in that position. Because again, he's so experienced in that specific position.
You said that. I mean, Birmingham player chased him across the penalty area to dive on him. So,
but if it were Rafferty would be the one winning the penalty, because that's what he can do. And he can do so.
Yeah.
I don't think he wins the header against Dyke though. Back post. Dyke.
It challenges him though. Makes it difficult.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. I mean, it's all ifs and buts at this minute.
Yeah, of course it is. But it gives me, we live in the world of ifs and buts.
Oh, we would have won if we had a right back. That's your.
If we had one more player, we'd have won 4-0. So, Reg asks, he's asking the question wrong. He says, "What time does the window close?" You need to ask, "What time does the window slam shut?" Is the correct way to phrase it, Reg. Deadline day, these things. 11 o'clock. We are still going. I was hoping for a really early night, to be honest with you. I regret agreeing to a 2-hour show because I am tired, but we will soldier on. Chris Ibbetson's getting excited. So Twitter saying 3 potential incomings. I think that Tony Stewart's watched the first 20 minutes of this show, gone on blower to Steve and just said, "You can have anyone you want. Here's a bit of cash." The influencers strike again. That's how I'm reading it.
I like what you
tell us
if
we're wrong, Tony. Tell us if we're wrong, Tony. Feel free to come and tell us. Right, Pele and Panzo. I thought we'd use AI to tell us about him. Pele, Ruddock and Panzo. Grok, which is not very good, to be honest with you. I don't recommend people paying for Grok. But anyway, he says the playing style is described as a powerful box-to-box midfielder with endless energy. And Panzo's natural position is central midfielder, though he can play right back. Although he can play centre back, sorry.
Oh, no, he can't.
I'm sure he played in defence for playoff final. I am almost certain.
You say again, mate?
I'm almost certain he played in defence for when they won playoff final. Almost certain of it. I remember watching it.
Yeah, I think you're right there.
Let's see what happens. I don't want 3 signs at 11:10 like we did last year.
Also, for
I mean,
anyone
has anybody checked down at the stadium see if there's any lights on?
Scott Kent's on that. So Scott Kent's in the comment. Can you please take a picture from outside your house?
Yeah, please have a look, Scott, for us, will you?
Yeah. I think is there anything on the Birmingham result? Is anything else? Anybody have anything to add before we go down that?
No, I think we're all with Evans really on this one, that we're disappointed in the overall result and felt that we deserved to get something out of that game. I think it's pretty much the consensus, certainly. Well, I think it is anyway. I'm agreeing with Evans again. What on earth is wrong with me?
Yeah.
I've had a bang on the head.
Yeah. That is weird. We will give an update to the Prediction League table on Thursday, because there has been a development in the table. A big development in the table.
I got it spot on, didn't I?
There may well be a three-way tie for the lead.
Oh.
But we'll come on to that. John picked up a point as well for the away team. So Ben, you'll pick up a point as well. So well done. The only person that doesn't pick up points will be Kev when we win.
Oh, bless him. Does anyone want to talk about Dan Gore, or is it quite a brief cameo?
No, it's good. Yeah, go for it. I thought he did all right, to be fair. Gets an assist. Stats look good on one game.
Stats win games.
He's padding the stats. But yeah, I thought we were really impressed. Ben, you've been quiet for 5 minutes. Tell us what you thought of Dan Gore in his first appearance, because he got injured in his one for Port Vale.
I thought he did well. I thought there was a lot of energy. I thought he was running about. I thought he did pretty well. Slotted in pretty well. Obviously, probably not expecting to play.
Yeah.
Never mind after 20 minutes. I think he did really well.
Yeah,
I agree. Couldn't agree more.
He looked neat. The cross for Nombe's goal was fantastic.
Excellent. Really, really good.
And
also, we our man on the ground, John Morell, says that Steve Evans told them at the time to take it short. It was on the spur moment from Steve Evans.
Tactical masterclass, you may say, Mick.
You know the free kick that we scored from a couple of months ago when we took it short and then stopped taking it short. The first one that we take short onto Power's left foot, we score again. So we're not going to do that for a couple of months.
Yeah, I don't get it. We seem really good with short set pieces.
Yeah.
And teams always leave it 2-on-1. Literally always. Teams so rarely bring that second man out. I don't know why we're not using it a bit more. Mick, do you want to praise Steve Evans for instructing the short corner, or is it too many?
No, I'm not interested in that. That's just John trying to wind me up. That's all. That's all that is. I'm not buying that.
Fair enough.
Do I really need to praise the manager because he suggested we take a short corner?
I mean, we scored from it, so
yeah. As has just been pointed out, we took 2 short corners earlier on in the season and scored consecutively from them, and then never took another one for the next however many games. So I don't know whether it's because we scored from them that we're not taking them anymore or what. But anyway, well done, Steve. Great call. Right. These are the reasons why the very, very forward-looking chairman that we've got invested his absolute everything that he got in this manager for tactical brilliance like that. These are the things that Tony Stewart sees that we don't, you see. It's amazing.
Fair enough. Yeah. We have light updates. Scott Kent says all nice and dark at New York Stadium, not a light on. Richard says lights on at the stadium at 7 p.m, but not one car in the car park. The Clark, imagine if we signed 3. We're very Steve Evans won it. Again, he claims he doesn't like signings.
Yeah, he did, didn't he? Yeah.
It'd be so Steve Evans. We have a terrible transfer window, and then 3 pop up at 11 o'clock. And to be fair, remember when we signed Becchio on deadline day as well? So it wouldn't surprise you if it ended up being 3 belters. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but it certainly wouldn't surprise me. It's fun. It's not fun.
He did look good, that young lad, though. He didn't look overawed at all. Given it, because he's clearly quite. Obviously, he looks very young as well. But I know I take Mickey out of that. But he's not got a great deal of experience, if any. So yeah, I thought he did really well, and he didn't look out of place at all.
Yeah. Mark says, I think Mick needs to loosen his tie. Going much into his head, agreeing with Steve Owens again.
You've got a point, Mark. Yeah, this is twice, 2 or 3 times now. But last few podcasts, and I'm starting to worry myself a little bit.
Yeah. We didn't lose any ground to the playoffs, which is a positive.
Stop.
7 points is nothing.
Talking about that.
7. We've got another 3 league game week next week.
Yeah.
So we've got Shrewsbury at home, Blackpool away, and then Reading away. Now Shrewsbury are a relegation side, so you fancy it much like Cambridge. You fancy them against that. Blackpool away could go either way, and Reading are having some of their best players taken off them as well.
But
and if we win tomorrow night, we'll be at semi-final of the Virtue Trophy.
Shrewsbury manager.
We'll cover that on Thursday. Yeah, all aboard. Harry's on. I'm just glad I have to get some quotes for party buses, because when we won, I was getting worried about some party bus mentions, but we'll leave it for now. Nick Cameron says playoffs inbound, got to be in it to win it. Still low mid-table, so it's still a long way to go. It's a long way to go in the season. That's why it's still there, because it's such a long way to go into the season. Ben, are you hopping aboard the positive party bus to Wembley, or are you not there yet?
This league is so bad, it's unreal. It is so bad. I mean, when we were winning yesterday, I think we were 5 points off playoffs, 4 points off playoffs, and we were chasing Bolton in 6th. Bolton.
We're terrible.
In 6th. That's the kind of levels that this league is at. You know what I mean? Wow. You look at that playoff race. It's unreal. There's some of the crap teams that are in there is absurd. I can't remember this league being this bad. And I don't know if it's just because we're playing bad that makes them play bad as well. But I don't know what it is, mate. But wow. Charlton, you say you're up there as well?
Yeah. Charlton, I think there's a group of teams, aren't there, on same points.
44 though, and 44, aren't they?
Yeah.
Unreal scenes.
And we know we're as good as those teams. We've shown we're at least as good as those teams. We will never stop trying to be positive. Matthew Dyer, we only have 11 contracted players in August. Going will be a disaster. Oh, is this the masterstroke? Don't sign any permanent players. Sign them all on loan. Get us promoted, and you get a free whack at Championship. It's genius. Think about it. It's genius. No?
Are you new to football, Matt? Are you new to supporting Rotherham United? You are aware that we have done this a few times in the past few years going into Championship and made an absolute hash of it completely, virtually every time. You are aware of that. You've not. You just block that out of your psyche now. You don't remember any of that.
I remember it.
Just asking,
RUFC, okay. Anthony Ford just left Wrexham. Yeah, we should remind people we don't like historically dipping into the free transfer market, because it's been a disaster for us over the last few years, to be honest. But the free window, as long as the player has been released or not been at a club as of 11 o'clock today, they will be available for a free transfer until it's time for a new club. So those are some options. Daniel Ayala, I think, is still available, as far as I'm aware.
Why would you bring that up?
Yeah, why out of everyone, Sean Morrison, Lee Peltier, Tyler Blackett? Nah, Daniel.
I was still Adam Hardcastle's joke from earlier.
Oh, okay.
Blame him, not me.
Oh yeah.
Fraser Jail, Reg.
Anyone you take back from last season as like a last minute?
Ayala.
Yeah. I think we're all.
If Ayala stopped getting sent off, we might be.
Ayala playing by the rules. Yeah, Ayala playing football. Not
yeah, he wasn't bad actually. It's because it was around Christmas, wasn't it? He wanted to spend Christmas with his family.
He wanted to go to Spain for Christmas, didn't
he? Yeah.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Yeah. Fraser Jail, really letting him sign Reg That's interesting. Yeah, it's weird, Reg, isn't it?
Why is he dead? Why?
I don't know.
Just why?
Leighton are well in the playoff mix, though, to be fair. I know they don't sound like they should be.
But he's better than that, surely. He's better than this level. But he's not done it, has he? So, obviously not.
No. He's one of the players I think thrived under Warren's management style. Like, you can say what you want about the style itself, but he absolutely thrived under it. And he doesn't seem to have thrived under Nathan Jones as coaching style. But yeah, we'll see. I want something to happen. We need to talk about something. Sign somebody.
Is it a bit weird that this Impanzu has gone quiet after 50 minutes, 45 minutes? Or
yeah. Always with Rotherham United. Always with Rotherham United. If it's gone quiet, that's rarely a good thing. Somebody needs to check on Lee Freeze because he suggested we get Cafu back.
He would rip it up in League One. To be fair,
we said the same about Jordan Hugo.
Yeah, I take that comment back.
There was a rumor, by the way, that Bristol Rovers were interested in Jordan Hugo. This was from a Bristol Rovers fan account that I saw, which had some followers. It has broken down last I saw, but apparently there was interest in him. He's going to be here though. Yeah. I just thought I'd bring that up if we wanted to.
No, not really.
How long's he got left? A year and a half.
Yeah, till end of next year.
Yeah.
So he's part of the rebuild project next year.
Yeah. He'll be class in League Two. Kidding.
Yeah. So where we had Nick Cameron says he would have kept Peltz just for his personality. So I would have kept Peltz, but in a clash
he can play across the whole back line as well. He'd fit. He would fit. Wouldn't need to play him.
I don't think Peltz staying would be an option given who the manager is. I don't think that would have ever been an option for Peltz.
That would never work.
Yeah,
because they would have come to blows. I don't think there's any doubt that they would have come to blows then too. So that wasn't ever going to be an option, unfortunately.
No. Where do we have Victor? Mike Mills cheating, saying Victor, but I'll play you. We've
only lent him to Stoke. I don't think they're ready to give him back yet, are they?
They should send a loan to us really just for robbing the price they got, should they? They always.
Yeah, absolutely, they should. Yeah.
But whatever. Lee Freeze is Alfie at team. I'll take it away. He is. He's ripped it up in non-league, isn't he?
Yeah, he is.
He's at FC
United, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's from it. He's from Stockport.
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
So yeah, it makes sense.
One of our favourite guests we've had as well, Alfie. Top guy. Neil Bolton says Josh Coyote's gone nowhere, lads. Maybe he will be back in school. Yeah, he's not gone yet. There's still 41 minutes left before the window slams shut.
Carlisle are fannying about with managers, aren't they? So he could go back to Carlisle.
Yeah. Did you see? I know. Did you see the link, Tom, earlier where Carlisle's Americanos decided to sound out Steven Gerrard?
Yeah. Steven Gerrard leaves Saudi, where he's getting paid more money than sense, to join bottom of League Two Carlisle. That's the sort of.
You never went there.
They were linked.
That would have been so good. Yeah, I mean that's what you get with American chairmen. They know nothing about. They hear a big name and they go, "Let's go get him." It's not realistic. Yeah. Never happened. Yeah, and they let him. They let that Williamson sign 8 players this January, all of which had played under him before, and then got rid of him on deadline day. That's if you want rid of, this completely. This comes back into my point. If you want rid of Stewart, be wary of who will come in, because it may well be someone of that caliber. You may get, may not, but you're 60% likely. You're over 50% likely to get someone that is like that, who's just clueless about football, but got a bit of cash behind him.
Yeah. Any truth? Jake Rooney rumours earlier. Yeah, I think that was a very, very low follower account.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Yeah, you needed to get more. You needed to get more followers in, Tom, before you start.
Yeah. I bought a couple, but it didn't really work, so I got rid of it immediately.
Yeah. Yeah, we're ready for some signings now. If ever the club is watching, we are ready for something to talk about.
That's just we're an hour and 20 into deep diving into two players.
Yeah.
I was asked
with
a
the
question.
review.
Yeah,
Go on,
I was
Tom.
asked a question, and it was, who would be your ideal signing? And I said Dobra from Chesterfield, and I don't know if many other people would agree with me on that.
Is he that one that getting it bigger?
Yeah.
He weren't that good, I don't think.
And
that's not just because he looked like an idiot. He didn't look that good.
I thought it was good. 2 parts to this. I thought it was quite good. I liked his housery. Also, if we signed him from Chesterfield, they would get really upset about it.
Yeah. It'd be worth it just for that.
Yeah.
It'd be worth it just for that because, again, with Steve Evans, he is the type of bloke to sign a player and just put him on bench. Just leave him on bench.
Yeah.
So again, that's something I could definitely get on board with if it's somebody like Chesterfield or Pigs or something like that. You know, if you were on that sort of level, it'd be great. It'd be great just to do that.
Can we get Sideshow Bob Stewart in every game? Do you reckon?
Oh yeah, maybe he's one we're signing tonight.
Yeah, maybe, yeah, maybe.
Yeah. Let's wait and see.
Is that we're now looking at the area of signing stewards.
Yes.
Transfer window because we've got no else.
When you're desperate, you're desperate. Let's have 5 minutes on tomorrow. Tomorrow night is the quarter-final of the Virtue Trophy. Bradford City will come into town. I don't know what tickets we've sold, but I imagine it'll be probably the best attended one so far, but still won't be perfect. I'll give you a quick ref watch first. Adam Herkzeg is the referee. Refereed us once this season in the Cheltenham loss, the FA Cup loss. We were terrible. I can't remember him. That's a good thing. I don't remember.
Always positive.
Yeah. Martin Holland says, what side we're putting out tomorrow night? We'll play Hugo, sorry. He suggested, Ben, that he will go strong. He said in one of his columns that he basically intended to go for it at this point, Evans. I also think it will be a good say if you do sign 3 players now, if the rules allow, tomorrow will be a good game to give them at least half an hour to get some minutes and play, just get your debut on and go from there. That could time up really well.
Yeah, we should change. I think we should change it up. Rotation we've got, swapping every single player and give rotation. You're saying
some minutes.
You've got no other option.
Yeah,
that'll play under 21s. So yeah, of course we're going to go strong. I would imagine Hugo will play. I imagine any fit player that we've got on bench should play, but hopefully it's not Hugo Clark-Harris because if it gets quite cold, that's going to be intensely boring to watch. I thought it was 20. You couldn't play for 24 hours, right? You have to be registered for 24 hours, or is it different deadline day?
But it's that trophy's got different rules on it.
Oh, right, okay.
If you've played in it before.
Say again.
If you've played in it before, sort of rules, or
I don't. Yeah, it's like the red card for Alex McDonald. Where he applied only in that competition, but then Steve Evans got a ban and he in the league, but could serve it in that competition. It's just a weird competition.
What if we sign a striker for 10 million a day after window? Can you play then?
The day after the window?
Yeah, for 10 million.
Yes.
Stop being silly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Go on, get that. Is no one going to comment on that little?
I didn't get it. Should we try it again?
I'm talking about Jordan Rhodes. That's all.
Okay.
They signed him a day after window and still play, but no one else picked up on that.
Oh, okay. Got you. Okay,
I didn't know that. No, that was
niche.
I know. Sorry, I don't know why that popped into my head. It did, so I had to get it out. I'm sorry.
Always struggling.
Get the mill 2 or 3 in, and the next round of the cup would be a good week. It would absolutely be a good week, Mick.
Yeah.
You're a game away from Wembley, so whoever you get in the semi-finals, it then becomes a really, really big game. It'd be nice for that to be at home, but we'll obviously have to let's see on if and when we get through. But yeah, 3 players in a signing, 3 players in a semi-final of the cup would be a very good week.
Yeah, it'd be great. It'd be great, wouldn't it? but here we are with 34 minutes left till end of transfer deadline. We've got 2 players in on loan who we already know about. We've got a rumour about one other. That's it. That's absolutely it. Even if we don't even know whether the rumour of the one that we've got coming in is going to come off, and with 30 minutes away, the club is not one. We I can't see him announcing anybody else. So it'd be nice to get one in and a cup win, because I think that's possibly more likely. We've already beaten Bradford in this competition once as well. This season, so again, that doesn't. I don't know whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, to be honest. But yeah, it would be nice. It would be nice to get through to the semis and give yourself an opportunity and a shout at another trip to Wembley. It's not our year in terms of Wembley. We're not due there this year, so it would be a bit of an outlier in that sense. But yeah. I feel quite deflated. I'm not going to lie. I do feel quite deflated about the fact that we have been so poor in this window, so poor, and it just compounded by the fact that Steve Evans is manager. I know, and not simply just because he's manager, but the point is, Steve Evans does not. He signs players.
Sorry, okay.
He signs players. Not just I mean,
you've saved yourself. You've saved yourself.
I am, but that's not the point. That's not where we're going with it. The point I'm trying to make is that he just, he signs players. Absolutely, and he hasn't. And so why? There is got to be a problem. There's a problem somewhere, surely.
That's just so. Barnsley signing Lembakisa, as somebody mentioned in the comment earlier. I think he'll do all right at this level, to be fair. There were signs of a player there last year. I was one of his fans. So I think he'll probably do all right for Barnsley. We'll see. We've got 2 ways of playing this. There are people are getting excited on the socials that there are some signings coming in. So we can play this one of 2 ways. We can either go all Sky Sports News and Jim White and go really excited that we've got some breaking news, that kind of thing. Or we can just play it cool. Which way do you want to go about it?
Why have you got some breaking news?
No, Sky Sports News will just play on the rumour, wouldn't they? So do we want to play on the rumour of 3 signings?
No. Well, you can. I'm not interested. I don't want rumours. I want somebody holding its scarf. Show me.
Yeah.
Show me a player, please. Oh, don't. Maybe.
New York Talk sources can confirm. Nothing. Right, before we go any further, let me just say thank you to the almost 2,000 people that have decided to spend deadline day with 4 idiots.
Yeah.
3 from Rotherham, 1 from one of the Rotherham fan. We'll take it on. You're an adopted Rotherhamer. So thank you all. Oh, go on.
No, I'll take it. Yeah.
I want to dig.
That was a sly dig. It was a sly anything.
Thank you all for being with us. Like I said, there's nearly 2,000 of you joining us, which is our record numbers for us, live anyway. So thank you all for being with us. Make sure you have, first of all, if you're watching on YouTube, make sure you subscribe. Give the video a thumbs up as well. If you're watching on X, which I can see most people are, make sure you follow us first of all for more up-to-date, current, and good content. And then go over to YouTube as well to make sure you subscribe.
Better content.
Well, better.
Better's better. Yeah, it's a bit subjective, that, isn't it?
Yeah.
Sorts.
I don't know where to go from here. To be honest with you.
Well, we didn't really talk about tomorrow, did we? We sort of glossed over it a little bit. Well, do we reckon we'll win? Do we reckon it's a surefire win, or we beat them already? But
yeah, It should be just a win, shouldn't it? It should.
Yeah, it should be straightforward. He says, we beat them already. Let's start talking about semi-finals.
Yeah. Who do we want? Who do we want in the semis, guys? Who do we want in the semis? That's what we should be saying.
We'll see. I think Sean's got a point here about the three signings. I'm kind of with this one that it might just be a third signing rather than another three. I think that's possibly where that's come from. So if O'Rourke's usually right, isn't he, with his rumours?
Yeah,
but
if you read Davis's article, it says that there was 2 potential, but 1 probable. So depends how much you want to listen to anything, really. I mean, I think as a fan, you want to think it's 3. I think as a realist, you'd probably take 1. But considering we're all optimists, guys, it's going to be 3. It's going to be 3.
At least 3.
At least. I like it. I like where you're going with that. So we're up in that rumour.
Yeah, started
here. I think we should, as supporters, both us and everybody in the comments, should open up your Twitter account and get that tweet out there. At least 3 incoming for Rotherham United tonight.
Clip it.
Get it out there.
Clip it. Put it on Twitter.
I wonder also if this has played a part. Nick says, "Do we know how bad Wilkes' injury is?" Now, if Wilkes' injury is bad, then maybe that's why we've kicked into gear to get a replacement for Wilkes as well. Ben, would you like to chime in with any kind of speculation?
I ain't got any, mate.
Make some up.
Is this your first deadline day?
Yeah, it is actually. I think it is. He's quite late for me, to be honest, mate. If we're being honest, so I'm fighting. It's
been a long weekend, hasn't it, mate?
Yeah, mate. It definitely has.
It's not the most interesting transfer deadline day either.
Yeah,
we're all struggling.
But to be fair, the last one weren't much better either, were it? Let's be fair.
We got 3 after we closed off, didn't we?
Yeah, which is probably what's going to happen tonight, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
So Sam Todd's probably sat there watching this in one of those 2,000 people that's watching it. One of them is Sam Todd waiting for it to finish, so he can then start putting stuff out for the club. Who knows?
We'll see.
It seems like 3 is a lot because there's 25 minutes left.
Yeah,
but you're assuming that they just started doing 5 minutes ago. These deals would have been if these deals are real, then they would have been in the works an hour.
But if they've not all been signed, that's a long time, is it not?
That's what they use.
That's not a long time, so it's not a long time at all.
Yeah. It's why the fax machine industry is still alive, because of deadline day.
I think the only thing that's alive about the fax machine industry on deadline day is that people still use the word fax. That's it.
Oh God. Well, if I'm being honest, I sent it to you guys in the chat a couple of days ago that I thought that Cummings had signed, because I thought, and it looks a lot like him in the video of Dan Gore. You can see someone training, and it looked a lot like Cummings, but evidently it's not, unless that's something that they've tried to hide. But I don't understand why they would have. So I think that's all I've got to weigh in on that, which isn't a lot, I'll be honest.
Fair enough. Tom K says, "Where's Rinamota now? Didn't leave Cardiff." Yeah, he is. No, he's still at Cardiff. He plays. Ironically,
plays right back.
He plays a right back.
Natural right back. It's a natural right back.
Natural right back. Oh,
we could do it.
Yeah. So let's confirm some technical. Adam Harkas, we can announce until after 11. Don't forget, they're still waiting for it all to go to bed. So you have until 11 to sign the documents. So obviously, signs can be announced after. There is also this thing, and I can't remember what it's called now, where you can delay the signing past 11 o'clock. If you send something to the FA saying basically everything's agreed, but we just need to work on the paper, you can apply for an extension. Sky Sports News will tell you what it is. But that is a thing that it could be delayed. It could be tomorrow morning, technically. I don't think it will be, but it could be as late as tomorrow morning when kind of things get announced. They've both abandoned us, Ben.
I know.
Part-timers. Do you want to say anything? Do you want to abuse Mick while he's not here?
No, I don't think I've done enough of that this weekend.
Yeah. Harry says, I think there'll be 2 Mpanzu and someone really random out of nowhere like White last year. Yeah, we'd take that. Is there a kind of player? Is there a profile of player you think would be important? I still think a middling. I think J-Boy's here, Mick, put it, Ben. Can't believe we haven't gone for a striker. No focal point. If we're trying promotion, we need goals. I think we're desperate for a focal point of a striker. No, good Jordan Hugo, more mobile Hugo.
I haven't got a striker at club, really.
Something Nombe.
Nombe. They've got Nombe, sorry. I forgot about Nombe. But we need somewhere else. There's somewhere else going forward. We need somewhere else going forward. If Mpanzu's true, midfield's all right. And we just need... There's no spare right back and there's no spare left back. Really, is there?
No.
No. I mean, I've got a good keeper, but
yeah,
there's places to improve it, but I think we need something going forward, especially if Wilkes is injured.
Especially if he is injured, yeah, absolutely.
Because with 1-0, we're 1-0 down in games, and you look at the bench, and it's Jordan Hugo and Clark Harris. It's not really not ideal.
Not at all. I agree.
Yeah.
Top Caitlin's got a rumour for us. Rumour for you. I just heard Danny's getting a new internet that works for the first. Is working on it for us. Thank you very much, Top. We appreciate that. I'll believe that when I see it, along with everything else on the deadline day. Nonsense. Yeah, we did this last year, didn't we? Where we were sitting here going, there's nothing really to talk about at the minute. What should we talk about until something hopefully happens? And then it didn't happen while we were live.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about that last time that the club were kind of active on social media on the run up to it, there'd been nothing for 9 hours from the club on Twitter.
I'd rather them just post it all at once. I don't like all this like teasing. It's just if it's like continuous throughout the day, fine. But the fact that they've not had anything in 9 hours, if any of them take one look at the hashtag on Twitter, people aren't happy. I can't imagine that people are going to be happy with a teaser. They're just going to say, "I'll just get it out." So I'd rather them just get it out. Post all 3 of them at the stadium. If it is 3, if it's 1, it's 1. If it's whatever, but it could be nil. Like let's if we're trying it, we could get nobody. This could all be, we could just get a message saying, no, and look, unfortunately nothing's happened. So let's brace for that as well, because that would be awful.
I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised to hear nothing at all. Nothing.
You reckon?
Which would make it even worse. It would make it more difficult to stomach and compound the sort of the feeling that the club are not really that interested in the rest of us. It just feels that way at the moment, and it has felt that way for a while. So hopefully I'm wrong. Ben's just stuck his nut on his computer there. Is that bored, Ben?
No, sorry.
Well, like you fell asleep and you had to hit your head to wake up.
I was trying to lift my chair up and I jumped up and I kicked this and then I got a bottle there. I'm trying to balance it.
I'm going to share this story to kill some time here because we really need to kill time. And as I've already alluded to, me and Ben have spent the weekend together.
Not just us
I'm not
two.
going to go into the details of Ben.
Was it just us two, Matt?
It wasn't just us two. Yeah, that's true. That would be more romantic, but anyway. But I've had to share a bedroom with Ben this weekend, sadly. And Ben has a history of doing silly things in his sleep. He sleepwalks, Ben. Ben is basically a sleepwalker. Thankfully, there was no sleepwalking this weekend. But on Friday night, we went to Amsterdam for the weekend on a family trip kind of thing. And I was laid in bed. It'd been a long day, and I was laid in bed trying to get to sleep. And I turn over, this light just pops up over here. And it's Ben on his phone. I thought, Ben just playing on his phone, or just checking something on his phone. And he puts his torch on. And then just puts his phone back down on the table with the torch on. that's weird. So I try and go back to sleep, and then 10 minutes later, he does exactly the same thing. Picks his phone up, puts his torch on, puts it back down, face down on the table. But
it wasn't face down. It was like angled. It was angled at where it wasn't shining too bright, so I didn't wake anyone up. I remember doing it.
We don't know why you did it.
I don't know why I did it, but I remember doing it, and I remember my thought process. You left out the fact that you snore like a chainsaw, by the way.
What are you going to do?
This podcast's taking a turn that I weren't anticipating it were going to take, quite frankly, boys.
Ooh.
This is what's happened on these kind of shows. When we have to fill time.
Rob Stanton has tweeted Rotherham will have a signing in before the deadline. Signing in.
Okay.
We'll have a signing, yeah.
I'll have a signing. Can they hurry up? Because this is getting weird. This is getting into.
I've turned notification on for the football club for Paul Davis, so I need to now add them on for Staten as well. All posts.
Why is it Rob Staten who said it, not rather than Paul Davis?
Don't know. That is a bit weird, isn't it?
Well, depends what they get told, I guess.
Yeah, it does actually. It does.
I doubt that they're there. Is what I'm trying to get at.
Staten's there with Big Steve.
They're coercing on it. You know, Evans has asked him for his advice. Yeah, they're doing it over Mackey's. I don't know.
Oh, they'll splash out on a pizza time. They'll have a Domino's tonight, won't they? You on deadline day. If you work until this time of night, you get Domino's tonight. Yeah.
Do you reckon? I reckon they had a Domino's in the day. I reckon it's more than that tonight.
Do you reckon?
Oh, what would you not? All expensed? Well, within reason. £10 a head.
I think Richard Dimble has just mentioned this, and he's absolutely right. Radio Sheffield are doing a live transfer deadline day program, so not wanting to push anybody towards that, obviously, because that'll just be talking pigs and everything else. But that's probably where that's come from. Then, so they will have contacts at clubs, unlike us.
You know,
we're just going off hashtags.
No, where do you think Danny is? You know,
our Danny.
Yeah, we've asked him to do a sweep of the car park.
Yeah,
there's a reason why he's not.
He just can't get back to us because his Wi-Fi is still crap. I assume.
Yeah, he's running around the car park trying to find signal.
Yeah.
Horrendous.
Yeah.
I don't. We've got 15, 16 minutes left until we get the slamming of the window. Next time we should get the bongs of Big Ben, shouldn't we, and play that at 11 o'clock?
Yeah, we could do, couldn't we? Yeah. And I do like the way that you've got the window slamming shut, obviously.
Of course.
Yeah.
There's only one way that it shuts. That's the only way the transfer window shuts is by slamming.
Right.
Because if you don't slam it, people can still sneak through. So you've got to slam it shut. Make sure nobody can get
I'm with you. I'm with you.
You've got to, you should know these things by now. How many deadline days have you done now?
Yeah, too many. Many, and they always end up in this same format where the last 15 minutes are lots and lots of people watching it, all of us doing exactly the same thing, and that's just talking absolute nonsense, waiting for it to slam shut.
Slam.
And then we give it 5 minutes, nothing happens, so we all go off to bed, and then club announce 3 signings. It's essentially that's the pattern. So
it's strange how it goes up right to the minute, isn't it? I personally have thought it would have been if I'm on the deadline for a work project, I'd consider that late. I don't know about anyone else, but for us to go right down to the deadline every single transfer window,
it's happening.
Thanks,
Paul Davis. It's happening. 1 incoming, no more exits planned. So Paul Davis is reporting 1.
Yep, there you go.
So is it in Panzu then? Do you reckon?
Yeah,
I say so.
That's a really good signing, but it's not enough.
Yeah, agreed. If we could have got 3 of that quality, I think 3 would have.
Is that not bizarre to anyone else? And Panzu's coming to 13th in League One.
Yeah, I don't really get that.
I
But he's
don't.
not played for them though, has he?
He played for them in January.
It might not be him. It might not be him.
No manager though. They've just obviously Matt Bloomfield's just taken over.
Yeah.
So if he doesn't factor in his plans, then
Surely he's like the one player at the club that shouldn't leave. Or, you know what I mean? Someone who's been with him like that as a manager, why would you want to get rid of someone like that? Who's obviously good enough to play at the level.
Well, that's something that Matt Bloomfield got. I mean, Matt Taylor had that issue, didn't he, where he kind of got rid of all the lieutenants of the previous guy, and that cost Matt Taylor big time by doing that.
You can get away with not having the best players. Like I said earlier, look at Bournemouth, look at Sheffield. Chris Basham played in Premier League and nearly got European football. You know what I mean? More about than just talent.
Yeah. Panzo is Kyoso's cousin. Red says, let's hope that Kyoso hasn't told his cousin about our fans. Don't get injured. Whoa, you get injured, people will not believe you.
Oh God.
Yeah.
I can't believe we've done an hour and 45 to hear about a player that we heard 15 minutes into it. Honestly, I commend us. Genuinely. I know we're not allowed to, but...
Well, listen, assuming that it is this lad, it's a decent signing, it's a really good signing, he's an experienced player and will add to the squad. So he's not just some sort of, just a Billy No name, is he? You know what I mean? He's an experienced player who will add some quality to our squad. So you've got to be happy with that. I don't think that's an issue at all. I think the issue is the fact that that'll give us now 15 fit players, you know, and that has to be a problem. That's a massive, massive problem, and I don't understand why that's not been addressed. Because we have had the opportunity to do that.
Would you rather had one really good player, like in Panzu, or 2 or 3 average?
It's a difficult one, isn't it? Because you get one more injury and you're really, really struggling.
Where's he going to play?
Say again?
Where's he going to play?
Well, if Sibley has to go left back.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, no, that is a shout. You know, I don't. Yeah.
Why not sign a left back then?
Yeah.
We won't.
Why not? Why have we not signed a left back? If he has to play left back, why have we not just signed a left back?
You make a very, very, very valid point, but we may sign a left back. But we won't.
McWilliams is on the grass, isn't he?
McWilliams should be on the grass. So that's
he's a midfielder.
He's right.
That's we'll see. What it might mean, and what we'll have to hope that it does mean, is that if we sign another midfielder, we might continue to play and use the midfield rather than just hoof it over the top of their heads.
Ooh.
Fingers crossed. You know what I mean?
For a lot there. An awful lot. But no, I agree with Ben. I think a quality player in midfield, it means that a quality player in midfield gets dropped, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You know.
It does. It does. But
I think midfield's our strong suit, is it not?
Yeah.
It's just when we use it.
Yeah. With McWilliams on training again.
Yeah, McWilliams, Powell, Humphreys, and then maybe the other one he can play instead of McDonald.
Sibley, Gore.
Oh, Sibley. I forgot about Sibley.
Yeah, Sibley, Gore, and Kelly if he needs to.
How many midfielders have we got? Kelly, Sibley, Gore, Humphreys, Powell, McWilliams, McDonald, and this guy. So that's 8.
And how many of them are wide
defenders have we got? James, Rafferty, Raggett, Jules.
The Dauphin. Humphreys at a push.
Who's not a defender. And Humphreys who plays in midfield.
Who's actually, yeah.
So there's 4 there. 5 if you count Hacks.
It doesn't allow you any form of and Raggett's. There is no way Raggett's going to string 3 or 4 games together without getting injured again, is there?
No, you can't. You can't put blind faith in him, can you?
No.
What did you say, Matt?
He did for Pompey, though, didn't he? Played loads for Pompey.
Yeah, but what has he done for us? And again, I'm not criticising him here. 3 or 4 games, and he's been out every time so far this season. So you can't give him what we've had from him so far this year. You can't pin any hopes on him still pulling on a Rotherham shirt at end of season to play. You just can't. So we are so threadbare again. You know, we said, how many seasons have we been saying this now? And I accept
too many.
Yeah, I accept that last season was the injuries were just ridiculous. The number of injuries we had. It's not as bad this season in terms of the number of players that are out injured, but we just haven't got any anywhere.
Yeah.
And how can you not have sufficient? How can you not, if you're being backed as a manager, if the manager is being given funds to maximise the squad numbers at the absolute minimum, why are we not? There has to be a reason, and those reasons, well, we've gone through them. You know, is he being backed, or is it that he is, but we can't get the players in? Why can't we get the players in? You know, and the reasons are many, or potentially many. So we ain't an attractive proposition, and I would argue personally, in my view, that we're a less attractive proposition with the management team that we've got than we will be with another different management team, particularly for younger players.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know whether that's right or not. That's just how I perceive it. But having said that, Sibley, Gore, both two very young players. Maybe their agents is not as thorough as others. Yeah, I don't know.
We can confirm New York Talk sources, which is Paul Davis.
You're not saying. Don't tell everybody.
So you're going to reveal your sources here? Sorry.
No.
Delete that. Our sources tell us.
Like it's all being recorded.
JJ is not scheduled to go out on loan, so he will remain with us. Now, what that means, whether Evans will keep him in the squad, remains to be seen. Whether we'll keep him close or not, we'll obviously have to wait and see. But JJ will be around for the foreseeable future. That's it for that one. That's sort of news. That's the non-news into it that you often get on deadline day.
He'd be more effective up front than Clark Harris has been, I would argue.
Well, he's got a bit of movement, hasn't he?
He's got the pace and what have you. But I mean, he's not really pulled up any trees wherever he's been previously, when we've loaned him out. But he is a body and he is capable. He's got the pace and he can, and he knows where the net is, or has done previously. So you would have to keep him. You would have to keep him, and he'd have to be named in the squad. Surely.
Yeah, you said so.
I can't believe that we're having this conversation. I genuinely can't. You know, that this far into the season, and we're talking about a lack of players. We're talking about a lack of squad depth, a lack of quality, and it's just it's horrendous, and it is poor. Whichever way you look at it, it's poor from the club that it's been allowed to get to this situation, and it smacks. There has to be other issues down there. There has to be other issues behind the scenes that we're not privy to, because
good evening
wouldn't be allowed.
Oh, it took a while.
Good evening from Rotherham United.
It took a while.
Are you speaking on their behalf? Are you?
And my sources, I'm going to reveal this one.
Right. Okay.
This one is from Rotherham United that just says "Good evening" with a candle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I quickly say that we currently have 1.9 thousand watching on Twitter and only 1.7 thousand subscribers on YouTube. So for those 200 that aren't doing their part, could you please maybe go across?
It's not even that. We've got 2,000. That many people watching on X. Not all of them followers. We've got more viewers than followers.
That's what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to say that there's a couple on here that aren't pulling their weight.
What are you doing? Follow.
Yeah, in a less abrasive terms. Yeah, please.
Get on with it. And then while you're doing that, go over to YouTube. Make sure you subscribe for future episodes as well.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, this is why I didn't want there to be a teaser, because it's I don't think that's done them any favors.
So
No.
what's his prediction? One. Just one?
I think just one.
I think
just one, yeah.
Anything more than just one is a bonus, isn't it? But I think sources from journalists indicate that it's the one.
Okay.
It's the one.
The one. This is.
He might be. Can anyone get anything from a candle?
I'll be honest. I'm with Tom Cahey. The replies to the tweet are not great.
That's what I mean.
They do really need to, as Tom put earlier on in the comments, they need to read the room a little bit here.
Yeah.
People are not happy.
Yeah.
And they're not happy not because of who we've signed tonight. If whoever it is, that's not the point, is it? The point, as we've talked about for the last 2 and a bit hours now, is that we've hardly got any fit players, and we're fannying about with 2 or 3 incomings in January, when it's not even going to make a Yeah, I don't think the board have any real desire to see us get anywhere near the playoffs this season. I don't think that would. I don't know. That's how it feels. There's no apparent ambition, is there?
No.
Having said that, if you extrapolate it a little bit, and then suppose for 1 second that we do make it into those playoffs, and by some bizarre miracle end up winning the playoffs, the next season this podcast is just going to be a horrendous place to be. It will be a horrendous place to be to get promoted into the championship.
Makes a change, doesn't it?
Eh?
I'll make a change.
Well, yeah, it would, yeah. But with this management team, it would just be horrific. It would be absolutely horrific. And because we'd have the same splather at the beginning of next season about how we're going to back the manager and we're going to do this and we're definitely going to give it a go this time. And then by Christmas, we're 9 points bottom of the league, 14 points adrift, because we've just done nothing, which is essentially what we've done this season, isn't it? So, yeah, I'm not comfortable with it. I'm not going to lie.
Okay.
Don't like it.
Nice bit of positivity while we're trying to sign a player. Like it.
I'm trying. I'm doing my best, mate. I'm doing my
It doesn't
best.
sound like you are trying.
What?
It doesn't sound like you are trying.
No, it doesn't really, does it?
Well, that's
how it feels. It's just that's how it feels. I hope to God I'm wrong. I want to be wrong. Please make me wrong.
Would it need to be 3 for you to go back onto the positive side of things? Is 3 enough?
No, I don't think so. I think it'd be great, but I think that'd be too big an ask at this late stage of the transfer window, with just over a minute and a half left of it.
The window is now officially shut.
Oh,
yeah. It has hit 11.
Did you hear it? Did you hear the slamming?
I didn't hear it slam. No.
Pele Ruddock.
There we go. Confirmation. Pele Ruddock Mpanzu is officially a Rotherham United player. He is on loan until the end of the season.
That's weird. Still weird.
Why? Well, that it's come down to us.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
It's also not a needed signing. Say it quietly.
Also, what, sorry?
Not a needed signing, if we say it quietly enough.
Positionally wise, I think he improves us.
Yes, he does. Yeah, he does. But that just screams to me that he's looking at putting one of the other midfielders in a position that they're probably not as comfortable in. I mean, look, he's a great player, really, really good player, and he'll improve us absolutely. But if we get one more injury at anywhere on the pitch, we're screwed. in my opinion.
He has signed too late for the Virtue Trophy game tomorrow, so he will not be making his debut tomorrow.
This is what I don't understand. I don't understand why it goes on until the last minute.
No.
To me, it's silly. I understand announcing it on the last minute, but yeah, very underwhelming. Very, very underwhelming. Great player. Nothing against Mpanzu. Nothing against that bit of business.
So bizarre.
But yeah, very, very strange. Yeah.
27 appearances in Premier League.
Yeah. Well, he just.
Look, it's a great signing. That is a great signing. Let's give credit where credit's due. It's not enough, and we're not. No, I think we all agree on that. But that is a great signing. If you are wanting to look upwards, he is the kind of player you want to sign looking upwards for.
Ooh. Okay.
Go on.
From the very start of the window, Pelly was our number one target. So, yeah, I think.
Is that from Evans?
Oh no, it's from me. Yeah, of course it's from Evans. You sorry.
Whatever.
It's been 2 hours. I apologise, mate.
No, you're right, mate. You're right. That's absolute nonsense, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean that sugars it for me. I think is that he's our number one signing and probably was the player that he was in December, and we've only just got him on the last minute. So, as ever, I would like to say a huge thank you to the chairman Tony Stewart for his incredible support in making the deal happen, as well as Rob Scott on the board who have worked right to the wire to get this over the line for us. So
this is the thing with Evans, right? I know this is going back to a bit of a negative, but if you think Tony Stewart's wrong for the club, Evans talks him up more than anybody else. So you can't back one without the other, if that kind of, for me, which is, again, adds into a bit of irony. Harry saying, is that it? Well, what you'd normally get is, especially when you've just made a signing, the club we'd expect the club to say that's it, kind of thing. Put an article out summing up the transfer window. The podcast lads can go to bed, kind of thing. But so we will give it a few more minutes.
Yeah.
Even though we're all desperately craving bed.
Craving?
What?
Craving bed?
Craving bed.
Look, so we've got three players in, all of whom look like they're going to improve us, but all of whom play in the same position or same area of the pitch.
Yes.
The same area of the pitch that arguably needed strengthening the least. So, yeah, they're good signings. I've no doubt about that. I have no issue with the players that have come in, quite frankly. And this one looks a real good lad, a really good one. But it leaves us short. We're still short, massively, massively short. And I don't understand why that's not been addressed. There has to be a reason why that's not been addressed. Whether that's a financial reason or another reason, I don't know, but it's not good enough, really, ultimately. I would argue, anyway. Disappointing. And it just adds more fuel to the fire that the ambition of the club is just not there. There isn't any.
Yeah.
The club, as people have rightly pointed out, the club article says third and final signing of the window. Well, that's that then.
Yeah, very well. Yeah, and I feel bad for Mpanzu because hopefully he'll hit the ground running, I'm sure. But
I'm sure he will, and I'm sure it'll be a huge impact on the squad. He's a massively experienced player, so it's a good signing, no doubt whatsoever. It's a good signing, but two more injuries in different positions, and we're back in Maya again. So
we're still in Maya.
Yeah. You said that. I mean, you're the one that's looking to book party bus for 2 Wembley trips, so you don't seem to be that convinced about what you're saying there.
No, that's true. It would save me money not to have to go to Wembley twice, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I think it'd save us all money, to be honest.
Yeah, mixed ties loosened. That means deadline must be finished.
He's ready. He's ready to head off.
Do we want to? Are we certain? What I would say is that article could have been written earlier.
Oh, come off it.
Oh.
If they've said it, they're not gonna. They'd have edited it out if it wasn't true.
Yeah.
They have the power of editing because they've not signed him at 11. They will be editing that article until 11. So if there were any more signings, they would have got rid of the and final. It just would have been, this is Steve Evans' third signing of whatever. They would have edited it out. So for me and for everyone else, that's it. No outgoings and Panzer in. Very poor job.
Paul has hit the nail on the head. Still got Cam Humphries at the moment.
Yep, until summer.
Until summer, they'll be gone.
Yeah, they'll be gone. Of course, they'll be gone, and then we can moan about the fact that we didn't sell him for any money. So if he'd have gone today and we sold him for money, we could have moaned about it. And then when he goes for a free in summer, it's going to be interesting come the summer. That's going to be a real interesting one. So, but we can cross that bridge at a later date, can't we?
Yeah. The only way for me that this can be a little bit sweeter is if we announce contract renewals and extensions. That's the only way that this can sweeten the deal, is if the money that we've used goes towards contracts. Sorry. That's the only way that will sweeten the lack of transfer activity for me personally. Because if we let Hacks and Humphries go on a free in the summer without spending the money that we've brought in, it's very I can't imagine it's going to be not toxic anymore.
It's going to be interesting, shall we say?
Yeah. Happy days, everybody. Poor Ben needs his sleep.
Yeah, he looks like he does.
Are we wanting to wrap it up, or do we want to give it a second?
I think we're done, aren't we?
Well, unless you want to wait for I'd assume that the club will tweet something, but that's just me being optimistic and thinking that they're not going to.
Yeah.
I think they will. Huh?
We said this last year, didn't we?
Yeah, but we didn't get the third and final is nailed on now, in my opinion.
I think so. There we go.
So wherever the three started, get some better sources.
Yeah, maybe it was just positivity. Maybe the club tried. You know what I mean? If the club have tried, then there's a degree of credit due to that. A degree of credit. The fact you've only ended up with 3 and you've got rid of so many and the squad's so thin is not where credit is due.
Someone said it before and said that Evans wanted 3 in at the start of the window. We all said that wasn't enough at the time, but we all thought that it would have been 3 outgoings. The fact it's more than 3 outgoings.
Yeah.
You have to. You can't come out with a net negative, in my opinion. You can't. Someone like McGuckin going out on loan now makes no sense. And don't get me wrong, he needed that. He needed to be playing minutes, but we're probably who knows? Who knows?
Indeed, he knows. Right, let's knock it on ahead because I am flagging. Make sure you have followed us on X because I can see 2,000 of you are listening on X or watching on X. Hello. Make sure you've subscribed, and if you are watching on YouTube, make sure you go across YouTube. If you're watching X, go across YouTube. And words are difficult, aren't they? Sometimes.
They can be.
Yeah. Go across to YouTube. Make sure you subscribed. If you're watching on YouTube, please do give it a thumbs up, big old thumbs up. We would really appreciate that. We don't ask for you to do anything other than just a thumbs up. Take a payment of a thumbs up for this 2 hours and 8 minutes worth of show. We will be back on Thursday. That will be a review of the Bradford game, which will hopefully be another step towards Wembley. We'll also look ahead to what promises to be an absolute epic as Gareth Ainsworth brings his Shrewsbury side.
Come on! The football terrorist comes back to New York Stadium.
So if you're disappointed about the transfer business, don't worry because you get to see some liquid football on Saturday afternoon.
And if you're really, really lucky and it's a bit warm, you might get to see a little bit of Gareth Ainsworth's chest.
Correct.
Entirely
Yeah.
possible.
Absolutely possible. Absolutely is possible. Thank you, everybody. We appreciate you being with us tonight. I hope we've brought you some level of joy over the last 2 hours. If the club announced more signings now, we'll be very unhappy. Or will we be happy? I don't know.
Don't really care.
I'll be happy. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Mick. Thank you, Ben. Thank you, Tom, for spending 2 hours of your Monday evening with us. We'll be back on Thursday, as I say. Thank you very much for watching. We'll see you all next time. And as always, up the Millers.
Yes.
Up the Millers.
I always made the comment that once a Miller, always a Miller.
Ravel, ambitious, but brilliant! I don't believe it! I swear I do not believe it! Good Evans, he's done it again. Another promotion for the big man.
I've got 12 bottles of champagne in my office, and we're going to drink them all night.
Do me a favor, drop me off in